G'day guys, welcome to a new episode of Bogan'S Guide to Beer. I'm Sampy.
And I'm Brian, and here we go with another ripper looking beer to me.
Yeah, this is our second episode, so we're going to try a Newcastle brown ale. So,
otherwise known as the dog.
Are you what you call me?
Not you, you don't look very dog-like at all, but I bet you can woof if I do the right thing to you.
Now,
here we go.
I told you said you were going to come around and give me a nookie. I told you I didn't swing that way, so what's the story, mate?
The story is that this is known as the dog because I'm going to see a man about a dog. I thought it was about taking the dog for a walk, but let's pour it in. And then, as once again you see, there's none of that childish froth and bubble. Childish froth and bubble. What I meant was childish froth and bubble.
I noticed the clear. Actually, we should. But hang on, before we go too far, we're going to freak people out about this whole nookie business. It's known as the nookie. we jumped over that.
You've got that wrong. It's the Nuki.
Oh, the Nuki.
Yeah, the Nuki. And what you've just brought up a point. This is one of the first beers in Britain, anyway, to be served in clear glass. So you've accidentally picked up on something very, very important.
I can remember the first time I saw beer in a clear glass. It was Carlton Cold. I don't think I really picked up on it, but I just remember it being a real trendy looking thing. I thought, oh, that's a bit cool.
Well, and that's another point. Nookie Brown now is, when it's exported, which a lot of it does, a lot of it is exported to the United States, it's seen to be as a bit of a yuppie boutique beer, whereas in England this is known as a working man's beer. I don't know whether you call it a pint to heavy, but let's have a sniff.
Let's have a look at the colour. Pouring it in, there was this really light brown, almost nicotine looking sort of colour pouring it in, but you can see there's bugger all head there. Is that, do we just pour it rough, or the glass is wrong, or is it
No, I think it's headless. I don't think it's, not everything has to have a head. Yep. I mean, you'd get a fine Cabernet Sauvignon, and if it had a head, you'd be unimpressed, and I think this is headless.
Alright, so let's have a smell. Okay, now you carry on about your fruit factor. I picked up a little bit of fruit on that one. Am I
wrong? Yes.
Am I wrong?
Again can't pick.
I know what it is.
The Funnel's famous fruit factor is lost here. I don't pick that up as being fruity, and that is one reason I like it.
What I did, I picked up something other than hop. I think hops is I'm really after.
Right, hops are fruit.
A bit. But I like the fruitier sort of smelling ones.
Yes.
I think what I'm working out, I like things that don't just smell hoppy.
Because see what they call it, a pint of heavy.
It's
for God's sake, drink the stuff, man. I can't keep on like this.
Well, I was saying, it's got a caramel smell to it.
Caramel.
See if you get caramel out of that.
No, I thought I could get this is going radically wrong here.
Really?
No caramel.
No caramel. I reckon there's definitely caramel in there.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of burnt brown sugar, but anyway, we'll have a taste. Trying desperately not to push it through my nose, laughing about your smelling a second ago.
Now I taste it, I can see where you're coming with the fruit factor, but it's not. I don't like fruit factor. When I think of fruit factor, I think of tropical fruit. I think of something that should be in a cider. And this, I can see where Jason's coming from. It does have a fruit factor, but it's not cidery at all. It's interesting. It's a subdued fruit factor, and I think that's fine.
You're not getting that. So I'm even getting a bit of a caramel sort of thing on the palate there. Maybe it's just sort of the mouthfeel. It's I don't know how to describe it. It's just caramel. I'm sort of stuck on that on that term. It's got a nice sort of sticky length there. You know, do you feel that hanging on? Almost like a bit of a honey thing going on.
Yeah, honey fits well. Yes.
There we go. Maybe that's
your honey down the side of your tongue. But the interesting thing, if you're going to buy this beer, and I think you should. I mean, there's a lot of people. They sell more of this in the United States than they do in England, and apparently you can't even get it that much on tap in England. It's sold in the bottle. It's interesting to drink. You're not just going to drink it and say, well, that's a beer and I drank it and therefore I am. What you're going to do is drink it and say, well, there's stuff happening there. It's a grand experience.
I think there's a lot more stuff happening here than was on the previous one on the John Smith. John Smith, it looked awesome, smelled a bit light. I was a bit bored by the palate. This has got a lot more interest as far as I'm concerned. It's just a lot more going on in there.
Sugar, alcohol content.
And the alcohol content is 4.7. We've got to work it. I don't know if you do it like wine.
And historically, when they first brought this out, when Colonel Porter, this is an army relative here, the guy served in the war and won a DSO. When they first brought this out, like Redback in Western Australia, the constabulary asked them to modify this beer because the jails were full, because it came out with an alcohol weight by volume of 6.25. So it was a pretty strong beer. Now it's a drinkable beer. You can have a few of these and not have the constabulary pop around, which I think is great. I'd like to keep the alcohol down.
Yeah, I think that's nice. It's just got a really lovely, smoky, honey, caramelly aftertaste without being overly chocolatey, pushy and in your mouth, not in your face, I should say. So we're going to rate that out of 10, mate.
Again, I think it's lovely. I would rate this highly. I'd go 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think
because it's so full of flavours.
Yeah, I'll meet you there. That's a 7.5. It's not blowing me away, but it's a very interesting thing that I'm more than happy to have a discussion about. So
you're drinking a piece of history here. I mean, this does have history.
Well, how old is it then? How long have these guys been around?
I think I think you're looking at about 1928. After Colonel Porter came back from the war, he tried to make it like a Bass beer, whatever the hell that was, and he came out with this and he wasn't impressed, but everybody else was except the constabulary, and it's moved on from there.
Oh, so if it pisses off the filth,
it's 90 years old. It's brilliant.
Pisses off the filth. It's got to be good for the Bogan audience. So all right, guys, we'll call that an episode. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. This has been Bogan's Guide to Beer.
Get yourself a carton of this. It's really great. Nookie Brown. Walk the dog.
See you guys.
Wow.